How are you guys doing?
Riley, how are you doing?
Doing good. Can you guys hear me?
We can. We'll get started. We'll do our usual one at a time. So we'll be starting with Chad Kripe here.
Riley, how are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Well, obviously, last week didn't go the way you wanted. You came out that first drive and seemed like you were a man on a mission. What was the mentality there right off the bat tonight?
Man, I mean, like we said last week, after that loss, we let it fuel our fire and got back to work the next day and didn't stop working. And so I really feel like that paid off for our whole team. And that's, we came out and got a win. So
Avery's been, such a spark for this team for so long, but when he does what he did on that, you get the big stop and on the first drive, and then he scores a touchdown with a block punt. What does that do for the team and kind of set the tone for the night?
Yeah, I mean, Avery's all over the place, and he's, on special teams, on defense, and every time he's on the field, a play is going to be made. And so we have complete confidence in Avery, and we know what he's capable of doing. And he came out and showed out and got a block punt and scored a touchdown. And so, we love having Avery on our team and out on the field with us.
Thanks, Riley.
You ever had a game like that, Riley? You've been part of Pee-wee or high school or college, 3 blocks, things like that for touchdowns?
Sorry, that was really quiet. I could hardly hear that. Hello?
Can you hear me?
All right, that's better.
Okay, sorry about that. You ever been a part of a game like that with 3 block kicks for touchdowns?
Man, no, I've never been a part of a game like that. And, Avery got one, DJ Schramm got one, got a touchdown too, man. And, being a linebacker, we were super pumped for him. And, you never would have expected that to happen, but we loved him up for it. And, that was awesome. He was Johnny on the spot.
Defensively, they came on the third quarter and got a couple of touchdowns. I guess after they got.
Sorry, I can't hear you. I don't know.
Just go on to somebody. Just go on to somebody else. It's all right.
All good. We'll move to J Test.
Okay, sorry about that.
What's up, Bryan? How you doing, bud?
Hey, how are you doing, Jay?
I'm good, man. Chad kind of touched on this, but I did want to go back to last week. You seemed to take that game and that performance last week so personal. For you to play like you did tonight, I should say, why did you play like you did tonight? Because you certainly seem inspired.
Yeah, last week a lot of things didn't go our way, and so we did a lot of reflection. I did a lot of reflection personally, and tried to come back and do every little thing that I could in order to put ourselves in a better position to win. And so, coming out there, I feel like our D-line did a great job keeping the D-line or the offensive line off of the backers and allowed us to make some plays tonight. So props to them.
What was the last few days like, or what were the last few days like, Riley, and how eager were you guys just to get on the field tonight so you would have the opportunity to put that in the past?
The past few days, we've been working our butts off, and it hasn't stopped ever since I told you guys last week, right after the game, we got back to work, and it hasn't stopped. And we've continued to, be on the uprise, and I'm really proud with how we played tonight as a team. And, hopefully we can go into this next week and continue to work and continue to be on that rise and take that energy into the next game.
One more, and that's this year Avery's snaps at cornerback have probably decreased quite a bit, but it still seems like he's such a man on a mission to make an impact on the game. How unique is his mindset and his ability to change the game on special teams?
Man, I think everybody on the team knows that when Avery's out on the field, there's a potential of something happening. And so every time he's out there on the field and he gets the ball, everybody's, on their toes because, you never know when he's going to break one for a touchdown because he's done it so many times. And to be able to have such an explosive player on our team like that is awesome. And we all look up to Avery and, him being a captain, everybody else looks up to him as well. And it's because of, how he holds himself off the field and how he plays when he's on the field. So we love Avery. He's got, he's got a blue collar mindset to him and is willing to do anything he needs to do to help our team win.
Thank you, Riley.
Thank you, Jay.
All right, Rachel Roberts.
Yes, sorry. I was trying to get myself unmuted. You had an offensive lineman who had to transfer to the defensive line tonight for a few reps. Ben Dooley, how did he work his way in there, and how do you think he performed?
Man, I thought he did a great job. At the beginning of the week, we moved him over to the D-line, and the communication on the defense was awesome. Everybody stepped up, was helping him, understanding where to align and know what to do. And I thought he worked his butt off, and he knew what he was doing. And, he definitely made a difference in this game. And so I'm pumped for him. And we continued to work throughout this whole week, even up until, at the hotel, we were in the lobby going through plays with the D-line and the linebackers and making sure we had everything dialed in. And I feel like the work we put in definitely showed off tonight.
You guys also got a fat guy touchdown tonight, which I'm sure gets a lot of people excited. But when you have a moment like that, what does it do for the team?
Man, I mean, a lot of guys scored tonight that we would not expect to score tonight. And I think that's awesome. I think it brings a ton of energy to the team. And to see Nick Crabtree get a touchdown, I mean, who would have thought? So, we're pumped for him. And, I think it sparks the team and gives us energy. And we were able to build off of that on offense and defense. And we were able to carry that over on both sides of the ball. And, we saw that tonight.
Dave Southern, do you have anything for Riley? Wait, I'm sorry, Dave's good. BJ, do you want to go back to you if you got your mic fixed?
I don't know why. I'm having a hard time hearing BJ.
BJ, try one more time.
Can you hear me?
That's better.
Yep.
Okay.
Around the age ask a negative question, but you guys had 14 players out due to COVID protocol. You guys concerned at all that it's going in the wrong direction with the positive cases?
Shoot. I heard the 14 guys out being on COVID protocol, but then it just kind of gets echoey. And
He's going to come to my computer real quick.
okay.
All right. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry about that.
Okay. Sorry about that. Just wondering we found out before the game you had 14 guys out due to, COVID protocol. Are you concerned at all about that as a team that it's, going in the wrong direction here with the tests?
Obviously, you don't want to have guys out, and we had to bring Ben over to the D-line because we were getting low on guys. And so, I mean, hopefully moving forward, we're able to keep that more under control because, as a team, you never want to lose guys and whatnot. But I thought our guys stepped up who were able to go. And, that really paid off tonight. And so hopefully we can get those guys back sooner than later, and we can minimize the amount of guys that are going to be out in the future so we don't have to go through that. But, with this being as crazy of a year as it is, you just got to be ready for anything. And if somebody's out, you got to be able to step up and keep moving forward.
Thanks.
All right, Will Hall, if you have one, we have time for one more.
Yeah, Riley, just wondering how much fun you guys have.
He's on mute.
You're on mute, Will.
There we go. Sorry about that. How much fun did you have tonight, Riley?
Sorry, what's that?
How much fun did you have tonight?
Oh man, a lot of fun tonight. When things are going your way and you're executing, the energy's there, you're having lots of fun. So it was an awesome game and we enjoyed it for sure.
All right, thanks, Riley. Appreciate the time.
All righty. Thank you guys. Take care and have a good night.
You too.
It was our song before the game, right?
Hey, Calla, can you hear me there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We'll get you started here. Chad Kraft will be leading it off.
Well, special teams, obviously, a huge story tonight. You had sort of the highs and lows of it with the punt return on the lateral, but also the touchdown on the blocked field goal. What inspired the special teams tonight? What happened to get that kind of performance?
Yeah, throughout the week, we were excited about coming to this game, obviously with that different return that we had installed. And when they called it, I was actually really excited for it. And when I saw the punt, I was like, oh, this is it right here. Caught the ball. I'm headed down the sideline to the end zone. And next thing you know, the ball's on the ground. I'm being tackled from behind. But, we knew we had to execute and make some big plays on special teams because we haven't been doing that the last, couple games. We actually got a block punt 2 times already this season. And we just really wanted to turn that around and be better from that standpoint. So it was fun doing that tonight and redeeming myself on that touchdown.
What was the secret to getting Avery in there on those 2 block punts? And then on the flip side, what did you see on your blocked field goal return that you had?
Yeah, Avery's a great guy on special teams. He does everything for us as a team. And, he really studies throughout the week and is the guy that gets all of those, kinds of blocks for us. So when we get him down there, he knows his angle that he's going to take to the ball. He knows what he has to do to get there. And really just being next to him and giving him the opportunity to do that is, something special. And on that blocked field goal, I thought Avery blocked the ball, but I think it was Scott Matlock. And that ball actually just bounced right to me. So I'm like, I'm going to pick it up and see, how many yards I can get. And when I finally turned that corner, I saw nobody in front of me. So just tried to make sure I didn't get caught.
To start the way you guys did, 3 and out with them losing yardage and a blocked punt for a touchdown, particularly coming off of what happened last week. What did that do for you guys to have a first minute of the game like that?
Yeah, it was huge for us as a defense to start fast and really just execute from the start and kind of get back into that groove of playing as a defense the way that we wanted to, coming off of last week's performance, really just learning from that, accepting the performance we put on film, but growing from that and learning as a defense and trying to be a lot more relentless and make big plays,
Thank you.
Thanks.
BJ's having some issues here. Jay, you're up.
Hey, Cal, how's it going, bud?
How's it going, Jay?
Have you ever been around a player that has a knack to make impact plays on special teams like Avery? I mean, what is it about him that allows himself to put himself in the right position all the time on special teams?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you what it is because he's just a special player that's always in the right spot. When he's back there with the ball, we know that something big is going to happen for our team. So just really being able to give him the opportunity to do that and then getting him in some, fun spots like on our punt return where he could come off the edge and block a couple punts. He's a guy that really loves special teams, studies throughout the week, comes up to our coaches, says, hey, I think I can get there on this play. If we call this, I think I'll be able to get there. So trusting him and letting him really just go out there and do his thing and the guys around him really giving him that opportunity.
Okay, Kyle, last week, some of the guys that you lost in that game or were missing in that game seemed to be a huge difference in the outcome of that game. Mm-hmm. Tonight, though, I mean, you were missing most of your defensive line and you played arguably one of your better or most complete defensive performances of the season. How did you guys do that?
Yeah, I think we just didn't make excuses throughout the week. We knew that was the situation that we were in. We knew coming into the season that might happen, with everything going on right now, whether it's injuries or guys being out because of COVID. We just accepted it and really stepped up, as the rest of the defense. Coach Harsin always says it's not on the guys that are coming in and filling in those roles. It's the other 10 guys on the field that have been on the field that need to elevate their game and help that guy that comes in to, fill those roles. So really just accepting that as a safety group, corner group, and a linebacker group to help out, that front that was hurting for us this last week.
And then one more from me. I feel like, a lot of the narrative going into this one was, short week. You got to play on a Thursday. It seemed like you guys were excited to play tonight, though. How eager were you just to get on the field and put whatever happened last week behind you?
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, we weren't happy at all with the performance we put on the field last week. But as a team, we had to accept that that's what we put on film. So for us, it was an opportunity to get back to football, as soon as possible. So that's something that we were really excited for. We made the corrections from the last game. We'll make the corrections from this game, but always looking forward to that next opportunity as a team and as a defense to really just learn and grow from what happened the week before.
Thanks, Kikala.
Thank you.
Woost.
All right, Kikala, just after Colorado State cut the lead with those 2 touchdowns to open the second half, you guys had 5 straight drives of 3 and out. Just what kind of changes did you make after that score and, to really finish the game strong defensively?
Yeah. We just came to the sideline and said everybody needs to just lock in back into their keys, do their job, don't try to do too much, and really get back to what was working for us in that first half. I think it was guys just really focusing back in. We changed the calls up a little bit, but everybody just, doing their 111th, seeing their keys and dominating that role is, I think, what helped us get back to getting off of the field.
And then 1 and 15 on third down attempts for the game. Just what was kind of your mentality as you guys were, getting a chance to get off the field there?
Yeah, really just as a defense, winning those money downs. And it's great for us when we get them, in those long third downs, because that's not the kind of team that, they want to be. They want to keep it close and short and be able to pound the ball or, use a play action pass. So we really just got excited as a defense to win on first and second down and get them in some of those longer situations. And then just buckling down and playing fast when they got to those 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2s that we got off the field on as well.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Rachel?
Howdy. You were honored today as a finalist for that Campbell Award, and it comes with an $18,000 scholarship. Have you figured out where you're going to grad school yet, and what do you plan to do with that extra $18,000 for school?
I have not figured out where I'm going to grad school yet, but it's really an honor and a blessing to just be recognized for an award like that. And it really just gives me, a lot of great opportunities to do something special with, that money that they set aside for post-graduation. So don't know exactly where I'm going yet, but I'm definitely going.
Since we're not getting an offensive kid tonight, let me ask you a question about offense. How does it help to have your starting QB back? What ways do you guys benefit?
Yeah, it helps a lot, just from operating the offense from top to bottom, getting personnels in, getting calls in, be able to make checks at the line of scrimmage and really just be the leader that he is and kind of bring that poise to the offense that, I think everybody on our team really needs and feeds off of, is somebody who will step in there, is, loose, ready to go, has that poise about him, and is just ready to operate, the way that we see him do every day in practice. So that's huge for us.
Will Hall?
Kala, in your opinion, what was the biggest key to success that allowed you guys to have success with the special teams tonight?
I really think the coaches did a great job with the scheme, especially on, Avery's 2 punt blocks. We had them dialed in pretty good with their protection and knowing what they were going to do. So from that point, it's just us as, the guys out there really executing that game plan. And we did a great job of that with those 2 punt blocks. And wish we executed a little better on that throwback that we had. But from top to bottom, it was a great job with the coach's game plan and also, the players on the field locking in and executing.
What was that touchdown like for you?
I was really excited because I came off the sideline after that first fumble and everybody's like, hey, don't worry, you're good. You're going to get it back. You're going to redeem yourself. You'll be fine. So when that ball popped right to me, I'm like, all right, this is it. I got to do it. I got to finish this one this time. So it was awesome getting around that corner and just seeing open field in the end zone.
Thanks, Colin.
Thank you.
And then finally, BJ.
Well, you ever been part of a game like that with 3, returns on kicks like that? And just how much fun was a game like that where just so much weird stuff was happening?
Yeah, I've never been a part of a game like that, but I'm ready to do that every week if we can. It helps the momentum of our team, our defense, and I think really our offense too, because like I said, everybody feeds off of the energy that special teams brings, the defense brings, and also that the offense brings. So when we're clicking like that and able to make plays on special teams, that's huge for us as a team.
All right, thanks, Kekala. Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
All right.
Was that any better or was it just bad?
Could hear you just fine.
Okay.
Avery, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. We'll get it started with Chad Kripe first.
Hey, Avery, not often you see a guy block 2 punts in a game. What did you guys have schemed up that worked for you tonight?
We knew, with the scheme that they had, that I could come off the edge, use my speed, and go get one. We ended up getting 2. So It was a great job by the coaches this week. Great job by, the players executing.
Was the same thing both times? Or did you guys mix it up and do something different the second time?
Yeah, no, we hit them with the same thing the second time, see if they would block me. It was weird. They actually checked away from me on the second one.
Coming off what you guys had to deal with, 6 days ago, to come out here, stuff them on 3 plays on the first drive and block a punt for a touchdown. What did that do for you, this team, this defense to start like that?
Yeah, I mean, that shows our heart. That shows, our character as a whole team. The fact that we can come off a tough loss, play 3 games in 13 days and, come out here and, take every week like it's a championship game. We really exemplified that, and I'm really proud of my team, of how we came out and played.
I know special teams has always been hugely important to you personally. To have 3 block kicks for touchdowns, almost had the lateral broken too. What did this mean to do something like this on special teams tonight?
It means a lot. I mean, since my freshman year, all you guys that have interviewed me know that special teams has always been my number one thing. So the fact that, we could execute all of that, and have it play out the way it did, that's really big for our program. And that's really big for our coaches and, just having trust in each other and our scheme. That's what we talk about here. And, we exemplified that.
Thanks, Avery.
All right, BJ.
Avery, just, how much more fun was tonight with all the block kicks and Nick Crabtree scoring a touchdown on the fumble and just with the way the game did go 6 days ago, just to have that kind of performance on offense, defense, special teams had to be a pretty good feeling overall.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we talked about most was, obviously we have a lot to focus on, but go out there and have fun today. And, as you can see, we had fun on all 3 sides of the ball. And, it feels really good when you put a hard work in every week, and then you get the result you want on game day. And there was obviously a lot of mistakes tonight. Some from myself, some from Carla, some from other guys on this team, other leaders on this team. But the fact that we can get a full team win on all 3 sides of the ball, it's a great feeling, and we're going to get those mistakes cleaned up.
You mentioned the 3 games in 13 days or whatever it is, 12 days. Obviously been a tough stretch for you guys. I mean, to get the win tonight and get a couple extra days now to kind of reset, for the Hawaii game and stuff. How's that feel? I guess kind of the mindset moving forward.
Yeah, it's great. We're somewhat getting back to normalcy. This is college football though, so under any circumstance, that's really not easy for a team to do. So big ups to all our linemen, because, they're getting really physical in there every single play. That's not easy to do. So, obviously we're going to celebrate this win the right way, and we're going to take our time off and recover. But we're back to a championship game, championship week against Hawaii. Same motivation, same focus.
All right, Jay.
Avery, when you're not returning punts and you come up on the line of scrimmage, how often does that pay off? Because I feel like whenever you make that move, it's pretty successful.
Yeah. I don't know how many we did last year. I got 1 punt block last year. I think we only did it maybe 6 times last year. This year I've tried to block maybe 4. And yeah, so no, I watch a lot of film, even special teams. I'm in here every night with the coaches, talking schemes, talking, whatever we need to do. And since I've been a freshman, I'm always the one that was, hey, we can get them on this special teams. We can do this, we can do that. So not only is it expected of myself, but it's expected of my coaches and my teammates. So they're not completely surprised when I go out there and do things like that.
I remember your freshman year when you were going down to San Diego, and you said that you felt like you saw something you could take advantage of, and then you housed I think that was your very first punt return for a touchdown. It was your second. Did you see something tonight going into this one where you felt like you could have a big night?
I mean, yeah, when you play, Ryan Stonehouse in Colorado State, you're going to have opportunities because he's such a great punter. He has such a big leg. The all-time leader in the NCAA for average punt. You're going to get opportunities if guys up front make their blocks on the gunners and things like that. So this is always a big game for me, and I take pride in the fact that I get to go against the best punter in the country.
One more, Avery, and you kind of led me to my next question. Ryan is one of the all-time greats when it comes to punting in NCAA history. Yeah. I noticed after your return down the right sideline, it was probably your best return of the day. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
He had some choice words, probably to himself, as he was walking off the field, and I saw you peek back over at him. How good did that feel? What was that about?
It's probably because I was messing up his average. But no, I mean, just like anybody, I talked with him after the game. We have a lot of mutual respect for each other. We've been seeing each other since both of our freshman years. And, he's just a competitive guy. And, regardless of who it is, it's never, I doubt he would ever want a returner getting that far, that many yards. So, I can see how it's frustrating for him. But, I thought they actually did a good job tackling tonight.
Avery, thanks, man. Congrats.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jay.
Well, Rachel and then Will.
Avery, your defense tonight was a little bit stressed with a lack of folks on the defensive line. What was that transition like for Ben Dooley going from offensive line to defensive line tonight as you watched him during practice?
Yeah, that's just a big time, change by Ben Dooley. We talk about giving up for your teammates here, and, that's the perfect example. Obviously, he came here to play O-line. He's on scholarship to play O-line. But that's just him, being selfless and doing what he needed to do for our team to be successful. I saw him out there get a couple tackles too, which is pretty rewarding. And, it's nice to see him, on the defensive side, learning this week. And, when he gets in the game, he actually makes plays. So that just goes to show that, this coaching staff can get anybody ready for anything. And, if your players believe in you, which we do here, we believe in our coaches 100%, we can go out there and get the job done every time.
We're not going to get any offensive guys tonight, so I was hoping you could tell me what was the importance of having Hank back as a starter tonight at quarterback? How did it
it was nice to see Hank back out there. From a defensive perspective, he's just a field general out there and a playmaker. Who's really smart. His IQ is really high, and he really knows how to operate the offense. So, it's nice. It's nice to see him out there again.
And then finally, Will.
Where's Will at? I saw him earlier.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, I think Will took off. So, Avery, you're all good, man. Appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Said it was a real big call to go for it on fourth on the 1 touchdown drive. couldn't do it later. Too risky. What? You want to get worried about getting blown out? You're worried you're going to lose.
How's this sound right here? That's better right now? Okay. Yeah, it was your fault, John.
Non-offensive touchdowns.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Thank you.
Hars, thanks for joining.
Yeah, you bet.
Would you
All
like
right.
to-
Yeah, I'll start off.
Okay.
Yeah, first of all, thought Colorado State was as advertised. They were physical. That tight end's a very good player, and they were coming off a big win against Wyoming. So credit to them on a short week as well to get here and get prepared to play. Tonight was a little bit of what we hoped would happen. There were some things on special teams that we created. We had obviously the scores. I know we had a couple turnovers in there that we've got to make sure that we correct because those are major plays the other way as well. I thought our defense played well, and in particular the D-line stepping up. We had some injuries and things that kept guys out, and that group was pretty thin. We had Ben Dooley playing on the D-line. I think you guys saw that tonight. And so Ben, proud of him for stepping up in a couple days, and the guys on the defensive line, the guys on the D-line stepping up and also rallying around him and coaching him up and getting him prepared. Coach Danielson doing a great job. And then, it's good to have Hank back and be able to get out there and, let him operate, do some things that, we want to do in the offense. I thought he made some good checks for us tonight. Still got hit. They came after the quarterback, and that was something that we really wanted to not let happen. But they had some good schemes that they dialed up on the defensive side, and I think Colorado State overall is very good. But we started fast. We came out fast. We had the special teams plays. Those were big, and we created momentum. Third quarter was still, we're working on that. We're working on this coming out at halftime and being a better football team in those areas. But I'm really proud of our guys. I'm proud of the work they put in this week, the coaches, the last 3 games, the 3 games in 13 days. That's not easy. Recovery time does matter. Extra time does matter. All those things matter. And we didn't get that throughout this time. So these guys really stepped up, and they did tonight. Some things of note as far as players, Keegan Freeborn is out for the rest of the season with a broken ankle. And Herbert Gums will be out the rest of the season with a torn ACL. So those are 2 guys that will be season ending that way. And everyone else is various reasons. Hope we get a couple guys back this next week. Some of those guys that have been injured, need to get them healed up. And then this will be a little bit of our challenge as the season goes on. There's no bye weeks. There's no other time now where we have to kind of get guys back. And so, depending on how things go with testing and other injuries and things like that, we'll continue to face some of these challenges. And in this particular game, we did. And bringing an old lineman over and having him play D-line, that's, not something that you really consider at this level when you have the depth that you should have, the depth that you're recruiting for those reasons. So those guys are able to be in that room, and just right now we don't. So it was a challenging week, but those guys really stepped up early in the game, and they played really well. So proud of our team. Good to be back in the win column on the blue. And, it felt good to see those guys go out there and operate. And we had some other guys on special teams get out there and some new faces show up. So you guys are seeing that, and that's just how this season's going to go. And I see that continuing. So every week we got to do a great job of getting guys prepared, and they've got to spend the time necessary to get themselves prepared to go out there and play. So questions?
All right, Chad.
Hey, Harsin. I think if we got the right information during the game, there was the first time in 13 years you guys have blocked a punt for a touchdown. First time in 15 years you've blocked a field goal for a touchdown, and both of them happened in the same night.
How about that?
What happened on special teams? Why did that stuff come together tonight in an explosive way?
Well, I do think our special teams coaches did a really good job of putting together an aggressive plan. We needed to be aggressive. Like I told you, our D-line situation throughout the week was concerning. And we knew on the offensive side, we needed to score points. We needed to score points because we really felt like the way that Colorado State could run the football, that could be an issue because they were really physical in the Wyoming game. So we needed to score. We needed to start fast. We needed to create something on special teams. The block was designed, the punt block that was designed, Avery was in there. He's a weapon as a returner. He's a weapon as a guy that will go after the ball. Special teams, he's just, and he's a heck of a player, but he's got a knack for just a feel of playing on special teams. And so those were big plays. The field goal was just effort. That was Scott Matlock. And it just comes down to effort. And Scott being a guy this entire week that's taken just about every rep in practice, and not every rep tonight. As the game got towards the fourth quarter, we were able to pull some guys out, but he made huge plays on defense, and then obviously the block. And for Kala, we threw the one back. We had the throw back to Kala. We got down the sideline. We had a big play out of that. We fumbled the ball, and I talked to him and just said, you're going to get it back. You're going to get another opportunity somehow, some way. And sure enough, Scott blocks the field goal and Kala picks it up, and there he goes. And so to me, it just kind of goes back to what was necessary for us to win tonight, what we felt like was necessary. I thought our guys, so we emphasized it, so our guys did it. We got what we emphasized from the entire team, and those guys knew that. Everybody on the team knew that. But I didn't know that was that many years in between, so that's pretty awesome that we're able to do it. It's obviously a big game on special teams because we needed it, and also because those things haven't happened in a while. And, you know, we got to continue to bring that mindset, I hope, each and every week, that we need to do these things, and this is going to be a part of our plan. And, you know, we got to go out there and play aggressive, and the guys stepped up when we did.
Thanks, Harsin.
All right, BJ.
Coach, just to have him
back and have that, feeling going into the game, knowing you'd have him, and then the defense to do what they did. Avery said we wanted to have fun in all three phases.
How much
More fun was it? How much different was the feeling, right now?
Well, that was a lot more fun than the game before. All right, I've done it both ways, and I prefer what we did tonight. So those guys did. I thought the meeting that we had last night, it was about, hey, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we need to do, and let's go out there and have fun doing it. Let's just cut it loose because of the challenges that we were facing. And those guys did that tonight. Sam Whitney's a guy, I know that Avery was talking about that. Sam Whitney's always a guy that's a positive influence for everybody. He even said that tonight, walking on the sideline, let's have some fun. And we did by going out there and just playing hard. And now having fun, you got to make plays. That's the thing about having fun in this game is you need to make plays. And those guys did that on special teams. So having Hank back was big. Hank's obviously, he's still young, but he's been through he's been through a spring ball. He's been through a fall camp. He's been through a season. He's been through, a little bit of a spring, and he knows what he's doing out there. He's able to operate, and he's a competitor. So getting him on the field, they came after him, and I thought Colorado State did a good job. So we've got to go back and obviously learn from this, so those same things don't happen to us moving forward. But Hank had a good week of prep, and he was ready and able to go. So having him out there, his sense of urgency, his operation, that helps our offense, and we were able to execute better. It was a little bit of an interesting night just because we hadn't been on the field offensively for a few series, the way the special teams went. And so we had to, just kind of get in that groove. We really wanted to take the ball early, and Colorado State chose it. I thought they would defer. They chose to take the ball, and probably looking out there when they have all their GAs out there looking at who's not on the field, they probably felt like they had an advantage there. But our guys stepped up. They weren't going to be denied on the blue, and they really came out with a lot of energy and certainly a lot of focus to do what they did tonight.
Coach, you mentioned all the absences, 14 players out, obviously, for COVID protocol in this one. That's gone up every game from 0 to 1 to 4 to 14. How concerning is that to you, where you guys are at right now with that?
Well, it's concerning every week. It's not just having guys out, and whether it's injuries or COVID, for the game in particular. It's all the work that you're doing every single day in practice. If you lose a couple guys at a position, then one guy now, and let's say in our practices you have a rack of 12 plays, that guy takes 12 plays. Normally that guy would take 6. And so you just, after a while, we had to cut back on some of our practice this week, just the numbers. We had to cut back. I felt like our guys were more fresh. Well, you still got to get your practice reps in. And then so when you don't have the depth at a position, that's why I believe, you're seeing teams that are canceling games. You're seeing teams that can't field a team in their opinion. And maybe literally they can, maybe they have the bodies, but they may not have the guys that can actually play or are prepared to play. And the coaches have to make that decision. Can we play? And is this guy that has gotten very little reps, is he able to play 4 quarters of a football game? Those are the challenges. And, each week, that's something that we have to deal with. And, we had guys get injured in practice. So that was part of it. When I talked about, Keegan Freeborn, that came in practice, and Herbert Gums, that came in practice. And so, just unfortunate injuries that happen along the way, which is, it happens in football, right? It happens every year, and it's terrible, but those things happen sometimes in practice. Sometimes they happen in games. Guys go out. And then you add on top of that where you don't have some other players at a position. Now you got to get really creative, and you got to be smart about who you have available and what you do and how you utilize them. So yes, to answer your question, yes, it's concerning when you start to think about, all right, not just the game, but how are we operating daily with the people that we have and the players that we have, and making sure that we're doing it the right way.
Right, Dave.
Hars, how much work did Ben Dooley get on the defensive line this week?
I think a couple days.
Okay.
I really do. I believe he got one padded practice and then one helmet practice. Now, he had a ton of walkthrough time, right? At the hotel last night, he and the D-line were all together. Coach Danielson was with him. And they're just – he's learning it all, which I asked Shane Irwin last night. I said, how's he doing? He said, really good. I was like, well, he's never played in a game at that position. I was thinking, but those guys his teammates were like, he's picking it up, and he was rattling off the calls and what he needed to do. And he had a really critical question for Coach Danielson last night, or I believe it was this morning. It was either last night or this morning, but he said, so when do I get to hit the quarterback? And Coach Danielson had to take him through, all right, one step after he throws it, he had to take it. So think about that. He's taking him through like, all right, when is it the right time to hit the QB, and when is it too late? But that's, Ben's trying to figure it out, and Ben's a smart guy. Ben was a great high school wrestler. So, and he can play that position. He's played D-line, but again, that's what we needed to do. And Ben stepped up. Ben got a call from Coach Danielson, hey, we need you. And Coach Bedell called him, hey, we need you. And he said, all right, I'm in. And that's the one thing that I really appreciate about this team is guys like that are willing to do what they need to do to help us be successful, and then to watch the D-line rally around him and come together and know that, hey, we're down, but we're not out. And so it was actually a really neat thing to see these guys come together. And then tonight, I had no idea. I know the starters. I know the guys that have been playing. I knew they would play well. But it was great to see those guys come out and just play fast. And they did. They played fast. They played physical. And Scott Matlock, who's been a big staple in that group right there, making a big play on special teams too. So he's a very good leader. And it showed through this week, and it showed in the game tonight.
I know you, as a team, are taking all the protocols and doing everything that you can. And I know those COVID numbers have gone up a little bit for you guys. And you mentioned the cancellations, and the margin is razor thin with the Mountain West, with no buys or anything like that. How much do you think about that as a coach? And I know BJ asked about it being a concern, but it has to be something that is maybe it's in the back of your mind every week.
I think about it every day. Every day. One of the things in it, as we go through, we test, and then the next day you get the results, right? And those results come around meeting time in the morning, because we're a morning practice team. So these guys, they've worked really hard to get through that day of practice, for example. That particular day, they tested that morning, and then they worked really hard through that particular day of practice. And the next day, they're ready for the next day. They're ready to learn from the day before, and they're ready to install and be prepared for that particular day. And they're getting in those meeting rooms, and they don't know. They don't know if they might be gone, and they don't know if they get a chance to stay. And that's the coaches as well, right? It's a challenge. It's a challenge. And so, yeah, I think about it every day because, is it going to be, and really selfishly, I think we all think about, all right, is it me? You're waiting on the results and you have an app and all that, and you're kind of checking it to make sure that you're good, right? Because if you're not, you need to go. You need to make sure that you take care of everybody here in the building. You do your part. Don't come in here if you don't feel well. So that's number one, right? Don't just come in and wait. If you don't feel well, you don't come in. But also, if you come back and there's a positive, then you need to go. And so, and there's obviously some of the contact tracing and things like that come along with that too. And yeah, every day, I mean, I think about it, our team thinks about it, and along with all the other things that we have to think about and try to stay focused. So it's a juggling act of being focused, but also being real about what we're dealing with each week. And, we discuss that, and I feel for our guys. I do. And everybody that comes in this building now, we've done a really good job. I feel like what we're doing here in our trainers, we have a really good process. Things just happen, right? And we're going to keep our guys, we're going to really try to keep our guys healthy at all times. But yeah, it's something that you think about. And as a player, you think about it because you put so much work in and you want to play so bad and you want to make sure that you're there at the end of the week to be in that game. And, some guys, unfortunately, they're not. And there's really no explanation other than, hey, this is what we're doing to take care of each other, right? We all agreed on this. And you can just imagine you do all these things, you feel okay or you think you're okay, and then you're out. So, I hope the numbers and everything, not just here, but everywhere, they get better. And that doesn't affect us as much. And then obviously our injuries, we do got some guys banged up that can go. We just got to get in the training room. We got to get healthy so we can go.
Thanks, Harsin.
All right, Woost.
Coach, you talk about a lot about getting better week to week, and obviously a tough defensive performance for you guys last week. But how much better did the defense get this week?
Well, yeah, I think what we showed tonight, and again, special teams were a big part of it. I thought the defense played hard. We tackled better. That was one thing. And up front, we got penetration that helped us in the run game, but we tackled better. I thought when they're early in the game, when they got in the perimeter, we were running and we were tackling better. Riley Wimpy was doing a really good job. He was all over the field. There were some big plays on the edges. They got us in the third quarter, and we had the turnover, and they came back and they got us. They kind of hit us where we had a call going the other way, and they did something that they hadn't shown, and they kind of ran opposite of the formation that we anticipated, and they creased us. And they got a big play out of that, so that got corrected. But I thought we tackled better than we did. We did cover better, and still, there's opportunities, where we're going to continue to make more plays on the ball. But yeah, it was just from the game that we played against BYU to now what we learned. Obviously a little bit different style, BYU, and what we saw tonight. So you take the game that you lost, you learn from it, you move on, and then tonight we're able to apply that in the win.
Riley called the game last week embarrassing, but he matched a career high 13 tackles tonight. How personally did you think he took that?
Well, let me kind of give you a little bit of what embarrassing means to us. There was a video that I showed our guys from John Gordon. It was Matthew McConaughey. Maybe you guys have seen it. And Matthew McConaughey's talking about, I wish people would be more embarrassed if they didn't do the best that they're capable of doing. People ought to feel embarrassed. And that, if you watch the video, he goes on that and just says, we ought to feel more embarrassed when we don't do the best we can. And so I think here, we didn't do the best we could. We didn't feel that way. So yeah, that was embarrassing. And, our team, these guys are very tight. They care about each other, but we didn't do the best we could. And so I think that meaning and what I mean by that too, that's embarrassing. We didn't do the best we could. And obviously we got beat. There's that part of it too. We all know that. So, I think that's what guys mean. Like, that's embarrassing. That wasn't the best that we could do. And so it's a reminder to us, at least in this program, that we need to be better every day so that we go out there and play. Those things don't happen. Doesn't guarantee us a win, none of those things, but it certainly puts us in a lot better position to be successful. And that didn't happen the previous game. So we moved on from that. And tonight, we were not going to have that type of performance. We were going to compete, and we were going to give the best we got. I think that showed up against a really good team. Our guys prepared because of what Colorado State brought to the table with their physicality and their mindset and beating a good Wyoming team. And I thought those guys put in the work in a short amount of time this week, and it showed up tonight.
All right, thanks.
All right, Rachel, and then Jay to wrap it up.
One quick one for you. C.T. Thomas was targeted 6 times tonight. He had 6 catches for 103 yards. But all 6 of those catches happened to be on 3rd down. Is that a coincidence, or is there something more to that story?
Maybe a little both. I mean, we did feel like that Shaq and CT were going to be 2 guys that we really wanted to get the ball in their hands. And Shaq had a little bit more probably on 1st and 2nd down. He carried the ball in there a couple times. CT seemed to be the guy this week that was showing up on 3rd downs. So that was a little bit by design. We did have some things for him that were in your 1st and 2nd down calls that we did get to. And he ran a reverse and he did some things too. So we were able to, we consider that too, like how we get that guy the ball, that reverse. And Shaq obviously had a couple of those. So that was a way to get him the ball. But overall, yeah, he was, this week in particular, he was a big part of the 3rd down package. Just because we felt like the matchup and kind of where Coach Miller and Coach Keesaw had placed him, that might be a good matchup for us. And I think it was. So we hit him every time in that situation. So it turned out to be a good matchup for us. So we were right on that. But he's a guy, he continues to be a playmaker. We've got to find more ways to get him some touches. But I think the carries and some of those little things like that help by getting the ball in his hands and letting him go out there and do his thing.
All right, and finally, Jay Tust.
Hey, Brian. When it comes to the punt returner versus the punter, like seldom is that like a hyped matchup going into a college football game. But I have a feeling like Avery Williams, like that's one of the things at the front of his mind. How unique is his mindset in the way that he attacks special teams? And also, when he moves up to the line of scrimmage on punt return, I mean, he has a lot of success. Like it's a strategic move, and it seems like it mostly pays off.
Yeah, well, it does, because Avery's, we call these guys the special teams demons, right? Those are the guys that are, and he's a starter on defense, but the guy is completely focused and devoted to special teams. And Avery is. He's a kick returner. He's a punt returner. He's a punt blocker. He's on field goal block, right? You name it. He's out there, and he's a weapon. So part of what I think we saw on special teams, yes, they had a very good punter, but we could come after it. And some of that too, you got to go back and it was like, hey, this guy's going to boom. And how many returns are we really going to get? Well, here's a great chance to use Avery in another position, because we don't know if we're going to really get a return. So let's try to create something. And I think in this game plan, we needed to create something. We liked our returns, but we also felt like that we had a decent block dialed up. And the guy that's going to get there is Avery. You got Kala and Avery, those 2 guys next to each other. They're going to make something happen. One of those 2 guys are going to get there. And you think about what happened tonight. Kala scored. Kala had a throwback in there. There was some really good things on teams between those guys. But DJ Schramm picking up a ball, you name it. You guys still haven't asked me about Nick Crabtree. All right, and the touchdown. So maybe that was coming, but anyhow, yeah, I think the versatility of a guy like Avery Williams allows you to do those type of things. And it's not just because he can, it's because he's going to know exactly what to do. And Avery's a guy, when you let him know, hey, here's the plan, he's probably going to come back with a better way of doing it. You know, he's got that coach's mindset, so he's a great player, but he's going to come back with maybe a little bit better way, a little bit better setup, because he really thinks about it. And he understands that if we're able to make this play, this is going to be a huge impact in the game. He really believes that we can change the game on special teams. And he truly believes that. And there's no doubt about that. So what we saw from him tonight, you know, we'll do more things like that with him, but it's one of those two, you take him away from being a returner as well, right? Why would you not let him return it? Why would you do this? So it's kind of one of those, you know, we gotta make sure that we got something dialed up if we're going to use him up front.
I think the thing about special teams that can be special is you do get guys involved that might not typically be involved. DJ Schramm scoring a touchdown. How much energy did that add to your team? And speaking of energy, Nick Crabtree getting his first career touchdown, came here as a tight end. He probably didn't expect to get it as an offensive lineman, but I guess that's the way that it works out sometimes.
Well, when they finally announced the touchdown and they said Nick Crabtree, you know, the 37 people that were here sounded like about 750, right? I mean, they were cheering. That was the most I heard from anybody, all right, in the game, is when they did that, or when they announced Nick Crabtree had the touchdown. Yeah, we want to hang on to the ball. You know, obviously there's coaching points on that, but here's the thing, like just hustling. If you just hustle, and there's two examples of it, all right? We get the block, and there is DJ Schramm hustling, right? He's right there on the spot to make the play. Nick Crabtree is hustling. He's there to make the play. You know, it's amazing what can happen in the game of football when you just hustle. So, you know, that was a big play right there. But DJ Schramm, the reason why guys get so excited is, you know, DJ is one of those guys he's on kickoff. He's on all the special teams. This week he was playing some outside linebacker for us. They're just some of those guys that haven't had as many opportunities to be out there and have a game like Riley Wimpy and have the 11 or 12 tackles, whatever he had, or be kind of in the spotlight right now. But our guys see him every day and how much they work. They see him jump over there on scout team and run down so they can service another team. And these guys are playing. Like, those are the things you know, not everybody gets to see. So they respect the guys that work hard. And then when they have a moment like that, everybody's cheering for him, because it's like, man, you deserve this. You deserve that. Like, you work your butt off, you deserve it. And, you know, we've seen you every day, and great job being there and getting your moment. And I think that's kind of what this whole thing is about. Everybody, I hope, gets their opportunities and they make it count, and they get moments like that, because they all deserve to be out there.
I was going to say, though, Stets got more than he asked for trying to lift Crabtree up like a running back.
Did he try to? That's a bad move. That's a bad move. You don't try to lift somebody up bigger than you. If anything, Nick should have lifted him up in that moment right there. Yeah, well, we didn't work on that. When's the last time an old lineman scored? Chad, do you know that one? You had the stats.
I don't know, but I just love my favorite story of Clayton Adams scoring and spiking at Utah back when, because Pete told him he could. But that's what always comes to mind for me.
Yeah, he did tell him that. I told Coach Bedell after that happened too. I'm like, he should have spiked it. Coach Bedell's like, no way. There'd been a penalty. You know, he's all serious, and but that's pretty awesome. You know, it doesn't happen, and you know, I know Khalil he wanted to score on that one, but the hustle by Nick was big.
All right, Coach Hars, thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right.
Okay. Good here? Okay.
All right, everybody. I'll get the audio and the video converted here and sent off. All right. Thanks, everyone.